I know of people, not personally, I don't know them personally, but I know of people who like did serious weight training in unheated spaces.
Nice. I'm just gonna go.
Yeah.
This guy about in that neighborhood
there.
right there.
There we
Yeah.
go.
Like, I mean, like people competing at the national level who like did all their powerlifting in unheated garages or sheds.
Nice. Makes you tough. He very much abides by that all through the winter. He just comes out here. He doesn't even
He has
turn
a
on his
heater.
heater.
You
He doesn't
don't
turn
turn
it
it
on. No.
I'll come out like half an hour before and crank it just to get it warm enough.
Dude, that just
like,
started this season though. This year. Though all the other years you've lived here, you would just come out here and savage 5
I still
in the morning.
work out in gloves because like all the metal won't get warm enough. You know? But it'll get it warm enough out here where like I can work out in like sweats and a hoodie and like be about perfect once I get going.
Yeah.
Yeah, my squat rack's been in storage for 4 years. Finally going to come out.
Nice. Yeah, if it was me, I would just have like a single rack that you can like squat, do bench on, some dumbbells, maybe a kettlebell, pull-up bar.
So speaking of the new house, have you resisted all the people coming by trying to buy it out from under you like the last 3 or however many you've done?
Yeah, yeah. No, they'd have to pay a completely insane amount to make it worth it
Nice.
to me.
Yeah.
Like if somebody came and offered me 1.5, I'd take it.
Yeah.
But no one would do that. There's enough houses you can buy if you want. Mine's not special enough for it. Like I can't figure. I like it. I think I did some cool stuff, but in no way could I possibly see how somebody could justify that.
But if somebody came up with 1.5, it would get you.
Yeah, I'd do it.
Okay, nice. Just throwing that
So
out
have you
there.
had any offers at all or not?
Like, well, I mean, it's not listed. I don't have a sign up.
And you don't have to say what the offers are, but I'm just curious if anyone's
Nobody's made an offer now.
Gotcha.
They walk through, but
Yeah.
I tell them it's not. It's
can't,
my house.
The last 2 or 3 houses we're building, we're like, oh, where's your reloading stuff going? And where's all this going? And then somebody comes and buys it. And he's like, dang it, next one's going to be mine. And then we go through that process again. So my whole crew is like theorizing whether or not Carl was going to make it to the end of this before selling it.
Yeah, this one I am. Well, the last one, it wasn't just that somebody came and offered me money, but also I was going to sell that lot to Casey.
Oh, yeah,
and then he bought a house and couldn't buy it.
Yep.
And I was like, and like the amount of money that I'd have to borrow to have done that house and do this house.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, I don't know. It was over $1 million that I'd have to borrow. And I don't know that anybody would loan me that much.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's pretty good the way it worked out, though, I would have assumed.
It worked out.
Yeah.
It worked out. I mean, in some ways, if I'd have had the capital to move into that one and then have lived in it for 2 years, sell it and move into this one, well, then the money I made, I wouldn't have paid tax on.
Oh, yeah.
Which I prefer not paying tax. So
Nice. Well,
So is your house done?
I'm going to move in by the middle of August. It will not be done, but it'll be done enough to move in.
it's pretty close. It's like, there'll be details, but it's pretty.
How big is your reloading room?
It's about the same size as the one I have now, like 10 by 10, 10 by 12, something like that.
Gotcha.
I can pull out the plans if you care that much.
I'm sure it'll be sweet. I do want to see it when it's done.
I mean, this house isn't. I built a house that I would like, but I also didn't do specialty stuff that wouldn't be universally appealing.
Yeah,
it's a spec house I'm moving into.
Like it's not like a full Carl Ross personal home custom.
In no way do I expect to live there for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I would do some things different that just wouldn't be universally appealing.
Yeah, gotcha.
I do like one thing. What's his name? Matt Fettig. Do you know him?
No.
Okay, he's a hunter around here. Friends with a bunch of the guys that I know from back when. But he built a house in Manhattan, and he has probably 1,000 square foot garage, like a 3-car garage, and it's generous. And then he's got probably a 12 by 20 room of conditioned space off the garage. That it doesn't open to the house; it just opens to the garage. That's his gear and reloading room.
Nice.
And
That's sick.
It's right off the garage, but it's full finished conditioned space, and I think that would be perfect.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
Yeah.
but I'm not going to do it in basically a spec house, probably.
Yeah.
For sure. Have you been up to Owen Copen's house?
I haven't.
His big shop. He's got a big old sick shop.
Yeah.
I think run Frontline Precision. I don't know. Somehow it's that, I believe. But yeah, he's got a pretty sick shop, man.
Okay.
I'm super jealous. Pretty rad. One day I'd like to have a big shop. But we were talking about yesterday, if we won the lottery, our lives would look very similar, except there'd be a 10,000 square foot
we
shop.
all stop living in Bozeman, and then we can buy land and a shop real easy.
Yeah. If I just moved somewhere that wasn't here,
100%.
Then I could have one pretty quick.
do it today.
100%. Well, we got Carl Ross back on the podcast. I labeled it Precision Rifle Expert. I wasn't sure what to call you.
It should just be like the professor.
The professor, dude. Yeah, the professor's back on the podcast. That's why whenever we run into big problems, we call Carl to straighten us out.
We need the PhD in. We call it the professor.
Yeah. So we got some stuff we're going to chat about from our came to light with the recent bear hunt and that. Before we get into it, we're going to talk about our podcast sponsor, Go Hunt.
Yeah, the boys at Go Hunt. In case you didn't know, which you do know now, they're title sponsor this year of the podcast. And we're doing a bunch of gear testing for them.
I like how open that they are doing it, because a lot of companies are pretty hidden and they're just like doing it out in the open. Like, hey, we're testing our stuff. They're not trying to surprise anybody that they're coming out with gear. Like, hey, this is the stuff we're testing. We had no restrictions. We're allowed to use all of it, talk about all of it. And they're very open to all the feedback and making things as best they can. And there's some stuff that's already great.
Yeah.
I'm super stoked on.
Yeah, I would say that everything I've used has been good, and all the things that I had feedback on, they already knew about and were changing before it goes to market. So that's super cool. Because a lot of times when you're asked to test products, I mean, really the point of testing something isn't to come back and say, man, that was the awesomest thing I've ever used. And if it was, then it's like, you're obviously going to say that, but it's just say, hey, here's the things I didn't like.
Yep.
And so it is nice when you can provide that and they're appreciative of it.
100%.
Which has been cool. And yeah, if I had to pick a piece that I am liking, a couple pieces. The pants, I think, will be sweet. They're kind of similar, I'd say, to like what the de Havilland pant was as far as kind of weight and, potentially noise, but like the fit and function and everything of them has been awesome.
Like the normal de Havilland or de Havilland
The
light?
regular normal
Okay,
ones,
gotcha.
So just maybe a little bit, slightly noisier than what you'd want or prefer for archery. You could totally go kill stuff in it, just like we have in the de Havillands for years. And I like the two-tone.
Yeah, I did
personally.
like that too. Yeah.
The zippered pockets are actually nice. I mean, pockets are pockets, but the zippered ones have been working really well. They got the venting, which is huge, so I'll be running those a bunch. And then the merino hoodie, the fit and the hood size, they've got that one dialed in pretty good, I think. So that's been cool.
That hood was great. I love that thing.
I hate tiny hoods.
Tiny hoods are rough. One thing that because there's so much daylight, we both had our sunglasses. What I liked about it, I instead of putting my sunglasses back in my pack or something, I'd leave them on top of my hat and then pull that hood over, and it would literally lock, because we're going busting brush and stuff. It protected them and kept them there. Really like that about the hood for whatever reason. It was nice.
The worst is when you're hiking all day and the hood's just like pulling down on your head and just like you have a headache by the end of the day. It sucks.
I noticed like a lot of hoods, my hat will for some reason start twisting one way or the other because it's just pulling on it hard. Yeah, it was really nice. It was a nice piece. I really like the tarp, Dyneema tarp. That thing was sick. Haven't used it in rain. It's Dyneema, so we know how it's going to function in rain and stuff. But just with the breaking up the sun, and then we had in some gnarly wind.
I was like hoping that something would happen to it, but nothing did.
Yeah, that was
just to be like, the tarp's not good enough, and I was like, well,
dude,
the thing's actually super bomber.
It broke a big old branch. I had it tied off to a tree, and it broke off a branch and launched it. It was scary. It launched it into Travis's face.
Oh,
and, like ripped this big branch off because the thing was like we're on a south facing slope and
you're
like all this updraft
or the wind.
Well, we had it just there for the sun all day. Well, then the wind came up.
The wind ripped the branch off.
And it was like it looked like one of those guys that like what's it called, the kiting or whatever. The thing was just like in this big. It was catching so much wind, and then it just ripped that branch and like right in the face. I was so scared that it got him in the eye, but he was okay. But yeah,
that's a great lead-in. It's a great lead-in. to the gear testing, the hunting, and the fact that then shortly after that, Travis spotted a bear. We went down the mountain. I shot and hit a bear, did not kill the bear, and that leads us to ballistics testing, which is why Carl's here.
That's why Carl's here. That same wind that was about to rip that tree out of the ground was the same wind. It was that same hillside.
Okay.
Zach shot. We were kind of like in line with the hillside essentially, and there's a big old updraft, and it was also a very steep downward angle. It was 27 degrees, I think, is what it was, and so he hit high, and it led to a whole week of us just theorizing what happened, right? Because then we tested it other times. Dope was perfect. The next morning we tested again, barely any wind, and certainly no updraft. Perfect, like it was just perfect.
Yeah. My first question would be, and I can't, I guess, I don't have it written down what the numbers are to like plug it into my Kestrel and show you right now, but like, why is it that with high angle shooting, let's call it 600 yards, I don't know what the angle would be if I shoot or 650, 650 line of sight, it's 30 degrees up. I put that in my Kestrel, it gives me one dope. If I put in the equivalent, and let's just call it zero wind, wind's not a factor.
Yep.
And then I put in an equivalent horizontal range in there. So, with zero angle, it's two different dopes. Yeah. Obviously, it's accounting for a difference in, I don't know. It's confusing, I guess, to me.
So the equivalent horizontal range is just the trigonometry, right?
It's just gravity's effects on the vertical element of the bullet,
so like
right?
Shooting up or down, our bullets always drop less off of our trajectory than they do otherwise, right?
Yep.
Because at like when we shoot level to the earth, gravity's pulling our bullet perpendicular to the path. So it's essentially full value. Every bit of gravity is pulling it off of trajectory. But then as we start shooting up or shooting down, that gravity is no longer square. That force of gravity isn't square to our trajectory. So gravity still pulls it the same, but it doesn't pull off the trajectory the same, right? Okay, so the equivalent horizontal range is just taking the trig and saying, okay, at this distance, this is the gravitational component, like the one side of the square, versus the actual length, the actual distance that it's going. The reason that as you shoot farther, those aren't the same thing is because the bullet's still slowing down over the long distance. So as it slows down, it has more time for gravity to affect it. So basically, like, if your time of flight is a second either way, if you just look at the adjusted horizontal range, what is it they call it exactly?
Equivalent horizontal range.
Yeah. So it's giving you the distance that gravity is applied for, and if you just do that, it would be figuring for the time of flight of that distance, not the distance you're actually shooting.
That makes sense.
So that's why those don't line up.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
so the whole so basically all those years of people being like, what's the equivalent horizontal range? That wasn't really the most accurate way to do it. The most accurate way is the line of sight distance with the angle.
Line of sight distance, and putting the angle into a good ballistics calculator. Then it's going to count for all of it, hopefully correctly.
Yeah.
Because all models are wrong, but some models are useful.
Yeah. So that makes perfect sense. Saying that, because I didn't account for like the bullet slowing down and the distance. Because I didn't think about it too hard. I just was like messing with stuff. Like my dope doesn't seem to be lining up. Let me see if I put like the EHR in there, and like I was just like, I wonder why those are different. And that's why we called in the professor to remind me that it's not that hard. Just think about all the variables here.
There's just a lot of variables.
Yeah. Okay, so
1 second. I'm just making a note there at 1515. All models are wrong, but some are useful. This is going to be a short.
I got that from Peter Attia.
Oh, nice.
A doctor who
I like it.
who went to engineering school, so we think similarly.
Nice.
So, how would you? What's best case scenario for vetting your high angle rifle ballistics? Because
The
that's
best case scenario
because
is
that's
that,
hard to find the location to shoot it, and then typically there's wind associated with that. Or
Right.
It's like it's
Yeah.
hard to be in that location multiple times to try to get a larger set of data.
sure. I mean, obviously, the best case is that you have access to somewhere where you can test.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, testing while you are in the same places that you hunt under those conditions, I mean, you really can't beat that.
Yep.
We're fortunate that it's not that big of a lift for us to
Yeah.
go do
Yeah.
that. Guys who just visit the West but live out East, they don't really have any good options. I mean, there's a lot of states where there's nowhere in the entire state you could take a 700-yard shot with a 30-degree angle.
Yeah.
You could probably barely even get 100-yard 30-degree.
Oh man, it's hard. It's crazy when you start looking for it, and like you start looking. There's a spot up here at the top of the bridges I used to shoot, and you felt like you're shooting way uphill, and it was like 13 degrees. It's like
Yeah.
it's not that steep, man.
Well, and the first 10 degrees plus or minus is almost free.
Yeah.
Like I think 10 degrees at 1,000 yards is worth about
It's
a click.
10. Yeah, it's a click. Yeah.
And so like it's not completely free, but it's almost free.
Yep.
And yeah, 10 degrees is unless you actually, are somebody who is in the mountains and is looking at the slope of things.
Yeah.
People misestimate that
100%.
badly. They think things are way steeper than they actually are.
I hear 45 degrees a lot, and that's never actually 45
Almost
degrees.
never.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Like we shot, we'll get into this further, but I told you that we shot 1,000 yards at 30 degrees, and that's wildly
Yeah.
steep
Which
and
is
extremely
shooting up a
difficult.
mountain.
Yeah, extremely difficult to find those spots as well.
So so the day was the day before. No, yeah, it was the day that I shot that bear. We
Yeah, it
had
was
shot
that-
at 1,200.
Yep.
But that was pretty flat. That
Yep.
lined up money.
Perfect. Yeah.
Shot the bear, didn't recover it. Hiked back up the next day. Shot far. I don't really remember.
Well, we shot we almost recreated the same shot. It was uphill instead of downhill.
But I was pretty.
You were perfect.
Yeah,
It was perfect.
Distance wise, we weren't able to get the angle, but distance wise, we were in the ballpark.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah. It was a decent angle still. Not 27, but it was decent.
But then we went to the next spot and we shot down that little shoot off we did. Mm-hmm. And it seemed like on those first two steep downhills, we were trending about a 1/10 or 2/10 high on our impacts.
Yeah, first shot I looked 2/10 high, and I took 2/10 out, and then was dead center on the next shot. Yeah,
And then we shot another time later down by the river, like a 30-degree uphill at like, what was it, 550 or 6-ish somewhere in 1,000.
yeah,
In the first round, which unfortunately, like that steep of faces, like there's wind and thermals.
yeah,
But it seemed like both the mid-range and the far shot trended high again.
Mm-hmm.
But in the course of doing that, like I would shoot it and then Jared would jump on his gun and shoot it. And then I'd come back because, it's pretty warm shooting a 6.5 PRC with a suppressor. Like
Yeah.
after 5, 6, 7 shots, you're kind of
Yeah,
like,
you
okay,
wanna
like I'm going to set this aside and we'll come back, let it
Yeah.
cool down. Second round, came back and shoot it, and it seems to be spot on.
no longer high. It was the dope that I was calling for was the dope that it took.
So there was really no, like, it seemed like maybe the trend was that the dope was slightly high, but then it also lined up in one set of like the tests. And so it was like, I know the Hat Creek guys, obviously in the public content world, like they shoot some high angle stuff. I'm sure they're probably
Because they have it.
Yeah,
experts.
Not very many
at
people
it.
do. Hat Creek's pretty special that way.
But it's like, how do you know if it's right? Obviously, try to avoid crazy technical shots in the mountains if you can.
Yep.
But obviously, they do happen,
Sure.
and we're nerds, so want to try to be able to tackle that scenario and know that whatever our system is saying is true. So, I mean, other than just trying to shoot in those conditions a lot, I mean, I don't know.
Well,
How how do you get good at that?
you get good at that by shooting in those conditions a lot, but also I would say doing it systematically. Like not just like, what do I think and try something, but like really think about it. Maybe something I've started doing a little bit. Like I'll write it all what I'm going to do down before I take a shot, so that I can't misremember it, and then take a shot and then write down what happened.
Yep.
And do that over and over, and then like basically because it's really easy to fool yourself
Oh yeah.
and misremember or remember things favorably and forget the times that didn't work so well. As long as they're low stakes, like when things don't work well on an animal, you tend to remember that. But it's really easy to be shooting just over 50% on rocks, but you remember it more like 80-90%.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So I mean that's one way. I think thinking about things correctly always helps. So there's kind of a lot of noise in the system. Like first off, there's the dispersion of your rifle, right? Like, what do you think? Like about the best hunting gun in the world with a good shooter shooting from field positions, like good field positions. Like if you're doing a 0.3 mil dispersion, like that's
Great.
Exceptional.
Yeah, the freaking 1 MOA, whatever. Yeah.
And probably 0.4 is more likely.
Yeah.
So, you've got, if your real dispersion is 0.4, which is honestly very good.
Yep.
Okay. Now you've got 0.2 either direction that everything could be perfect and you could still be missing by 0.2.
Yep.
So that's when you're talking about missing by 0.1, being off by 0.1 or 0.2, you really can't necessarily say that it's not just the dispersion of the gun. So you have some noise there. Then when you're shooting in that terrain, you have the wind affecting your elevation as well as your windage, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. If you missed a wind call by 0.2 of 1,000, I feel like I did all right. Like that's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Missing a wind call just in a different plane by 0.2, I'm like, all right, that's pretty reasonable. That shouldn't be super surprising.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and that's where you say that it is, because at the end, when we think wind, we think very two-dimensionally all the time, and when we think wind, like the elevation's taken care of in my solver, and then my wind is like I got to look, and I'm looking for this. I'm like,
Absolutely.
Is it going this way or is it going this way, and how much is it doing that? And you brought it up there. It's like, well, when the wind is also doing this, it's like I forgot to look or think about that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, most of our practice ranges aren't high angle, and I don't see that changing anytime soon.
Yep.
Right?
For sure.
Because it's so few. I mean, it's hard enough to have a long range rifle range to begin with, then to put, like a couple like not 1% of places there would make a good high angle range.
Yep.
So to find those two together is pretty rare. So we're probably going to keep thinking in those terms when we're practicing, unless we go out to the mountains specifically to practice shooting in the mountains. And if you want to get really good, I don't see a way around it.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah, when I'm shooting a bunch like during hunting season, I'll think of it that way. When I'm shooting matches, it's less, but like at Snake River, it's something to think about, especially around that big rock wall, the way the wind pushes on that thing.
Well,
but
I told Carl about this yesterday, but remember that one stage? I think they were sheep or something. It was when we came around the corner right before we got to that spool or whatever that was. And we watched the whole squad in front of us, and there's just a trough above all the targets. And we ranged it. We double checked everything.
The magnetic field up to the power lines.
That's what.
Remember?
Yeah, that was my explanation of it. That the EMF was pulling the lead of our bullets up somehow. They were magnetic lead somehow. But everybody. So we talked about it ahead of time, and everybody started aiming bottom plate, and we hit. Yeah. But I remember just analyzing that situation and having no explanation for why it was doing that.
I don't think I ever had like an obvious, that's why. Like at Hart Mountain, there's a stage like that where it made perfect sense once you stopped shooting on time, and step back and we're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Wind's doing this, it's pushing up the hill, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah, it's traveling
Or
in
like,
this.
there's like a saddle where like the wind's coming through that's impacting your bullet, one way, and then up this whole drainage this other way, there's wind pushing up. So it's like, why am I missing here when like the splash is doing this thing, and it's like super confusing sometimes on stage because like the visual out there is not making sense. But when you like get out of your gun and don't have time counting down, you just look at it like,
For
makes
sure.
sense why the bullet did that. But
For sure.
yeah, that one in Snake River, I don't remember coming to any good conclusion why they were hitting high there. But
No good conclusion at all. And
sometimes I wish you could just dye air. Like you can put dye in water and see what it's doing.
yeah.
I mean, you can, but it's more work. Like smoke canisters. I've seen people do that.
Yeah.
Like in a big plane, like
Oh,
put a
nice.
few different colored
That'd be
smoke
cool.
canisters and just let everybody
cool.
watch how the air is flowing through the terrain.
Nice.
Sweet.
The first time I ever saw this, I was at Punisher Positional out in Kansas, and the wind was doing this really funky. It was a tailwind, fishtailing tailwind, right? And from target to target, you didn't know if it was left or right to left. All of a sudden, this dude reaches into his pack and got some special bubbles out, and he's holding a bubble, and the bubbles are just going down, like, and you could see it all 1,200 yards, just bubbles, and then the bubbles would do this, and then they do this, and it's like, oh yeah, even with the bubble, now you could see what's happening, but there was no like predicting it.
Yeah, you still can't. I mean, fishtailing's
Yeah,
the hardest.
and it was really last year. I was training at the Western Hunting Summit thing, and one of the dudes there's these bubbles that this dude swore by. These bubbles, they have like a peanut butter smell. They're for dogs, I guess. You blow it so your dogs are going like whatever, but they're more robust bubbles. They don't pop very easily for whatever it is in it. They're really robust. Well, this dude had it, and we were just talking about like wind and thermals and when you're stalking animals and that, and he blew these bubbles, and when they were like going up this little draw, and then like the ones kind of over on the left, they'd hit this south-facing slope that's all hot, and all of a sudden you'd see some of the bubbles just shoot straight up the hill, and the other ones would keep drifting up. It was a really cool learning thing. Like that's a little bit easier than the smoke canisters because you could have it with you, and blow them and just watch what it is a good learning tool, I guess.
Yeah, but not super practical for applying in the field.
No,
You've got seconds.
No. Yeah, no, definitely not.
You think I could bust the bubbles out and wait while that bear stands in that meadow?
Yeah.
Zach, get your bubbles.
I need a bubble assistant.
Dude, on our bino harness, we need to add a bubble holder, dude. That would be great. Right over here on the side.
I mean, if you think about bow hunting, though, like how much the wind does weird stuff in 50 yards or 60 yards, whatever a little wind checker you can see go and do is like insane.
And I know you guys have both watched Trace like in a spotter plenty of times. I mean, you've seen it like not have a linear trajectory, get blown around on its course,
going one way and then switching to the other way, like sometimes when there's
and also just like doing wild stuff, doing that you could never predict.
Yep.
You've probably been in a plane with some turbulence too.
Oh yeah.
Like sometimes we shoot through that.
Definitely, it's wild. That's where I'm trying to get. And we at matches we hear about updraft. You mentioned two matches where there was actually updraft, but I hear about updraft all the time, dude. We're on these flat ranges, and it's like, I dialed my dope and held center, and I hit dead center. And a lot of times it's guys with fundamental issues or whatever that are causing them to hit high.
Matches.
Yeah, and so you ignore most of it, and that's like kind of, it's made me not consider it when I should be considering it in the mountains.
Yep.
I would say is like
I consider it in the mountains, I would say, but like the shot I took, which I don't think it was up or down draft that was the problem there, but I wouldn't have considered it in that shot.
Looking back on that wind that was making our tarp do that was the same. We were shooting from that same face. It was a south face.
But it had died off from that level.
I know, but I just, for me, I cannot come up with anything else that would have caused that high.
Yeah.
I just can't come up with anything else.
Shouldn't have rounded my dope up a tenth.
Well,
but that wouldn't have counted. I mean, I was probably 14 to 16 inches. I don't know what that would be there, at least that high at 660, so it's
okay. So like 6 tenths?
It was probably 4 tenths. I would guess it was 4 tenths. Yeah.
Okay.
I ranged in the meadow. He was moving, didn't have time to range. I just clicked up a tenth, thinking he was going to walk out. And that seemed like a good move in the moment, versus rearranging.
I've done that. I don't recommend it, but I'm just like watching an animal and sitting there with somebody else and just like, add 2.
And I think my dope was like split where I'd rounded up a half to get to the dope that I dialed. So I was like 0.15 rounded up. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't account for, which again, the dispersion at that distance of me in the position that was good. I saw my impact, but still doesn't mean that you still don't have a cone of fire that's X amount.
Right.
So who knows? All I know is that now Jared has more reason to become a muzzleloader hunter with me and get within 100.
With our precision rifles, we're not doing it with muzzleloaders. I'm not anyways.
It sucks.
I've had enough frustration with rifles this year that will not be doing.
I think it's like almost better that you don't make some of those shots, because I've done pretty dang good over the last 3 or 4 years with just about all my rifle shots, but those are always the ones that you're like, getting closer next year. Yeah. Not even going to have to worry about it.
Yeah. That's what we would have done in this situation, but there
was no time.
It was just motoring down country.
It sounds like that was like the opportunity of the trip.
Yeah.
The only one, yeah. And
most people wouldn't even have, we barely made it and we're in really good, I'd say, at least mountain shape and mountain footing to be able to run 1,000 vert down a mountain through brush and cliffs with camp on your back to even get to a position to shoot before the bear left the meadows and went in the timber, forever gone. So, but
yeah, it was almost like we almost shouldn't have been able to make it to that, and we would have saw the bear leave. Mm-hmm. But because we have been training a lot and that, we got down a lot of vert, and is the steepest hillside I've ever gone down that fast.
Okay.
It was definitely the hardest downhill close the distance on an animal I've ever done.
It smoked all our quads for the rest of the trip. Just like that. Yep. That braking, just you're constantly trying to slow down, just turns light your quads up, and so our quads were definitely recovering through the rest of the trip. And the point of us saying that is just we probably shouldn't have made it to take a shot, and that's how. And it was just
how much time did you? Between when you started setting up and you took a shot, did you have?
I would say 30
seconds
to 40.
Yeah, it was not a minute. No. Because he got.
It's not like 20 seconds, but not much.
I got there, got my gun down, extended my bipod, pulled my binos out, got on the rifle. It felt good. Ranged, basically saw where the bears were headed, because it was if I can't get my gun set up and in a position, it doesn't matter to range the bear.
Yep.
And then where the bear was at, he was either going to come left out into this meadow or he's going to go in the timber. So I just ranged the meadow, dialed my dope, got on the gun. He's coming out. I had the chance to think should I range again? I was like, no, it's going to take too much time to come out of the scope, re-range. Mm-hmm. Stayed on him, and by that time Jared had caught up and Travis had caught up. I was like, do you want me to stop him? And it was yeah.
Yeah, I'm literally settling.
I'm just on the bear, watching him walk, hoping he's going to stop. He hasn't gotten to oh shit, but he's getting close to it. Mm-hmm. And then they stopped him, and I basically just put it where I wanted it.
We had a short amount of time to talk about the wind. He's like, man, I'm not seeing the treetops moving at all. We're obviously feeling some wind where we're at.
Okay.
But he's shooting so far down. It's the trees between us and the bear, the tops weren't moving. So it seemed, and again, if it was updraft, I don't know. It had to happen immediately, I would say, like
Okay.
in that first 100 yards, because then after that, then you're kind of like,
You're shooting through space.
Yeah.
Not really close
We
to
were
terrain.
in like
Yeah.
a big rock feature. In the bottom of it, there was like a little like dip, that I'm laying in. So there could have been some wind moving around that rock in a weird way, but I don't know. I felt good, honestly. Yeah. Like I didn't kill that bear and I didn't hit him where I want, but like there was no one decision that was like, wow, you really screwed that up. Like I generally felt like I made good decisions for that scenario.
Yeah, I mean, we're here talking about it.
I'm
'cause you
not
aren't
upset.
Sure, right?
Other than the fact that like I don't like putting bullets or arrows in animals that I don't kill. Like that sucks. But I feel like I made generally good decisions in that moment that I'm not like bummed out about. Like I really screwed that one up. Like that was just dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, the dumbest thing was like obviously it was too far for me to shoot, so I shouldn't have taken the shot.
Yeah, but when you're like at
can't be
the edge
perfect.
of the range and you're also rushing, that's
it's tough.
I mean, it can work out.
You
but it's
wanna
not
be the
best
hero.
combination.
yeah.
And it's, I mean, yeah, I don't think it really would have mattered if it was a bear I wanted to shoot. It was a bear I wanted to shoot, but it was a big bear, so I think naturally you want
Also, it's a big bear. You have more
to
room
make,
for
but
forgiveness.
naturally
right?
I think you want to make everything sound right and good in your head. Like, no problem.
Yep.
So
No, I understand.
For sure. Yeah, it was like looking back to that moment as well. And I showed you the video, and you could see clearly on the video when you zoom in and that it hits high. But in the moment, like we had a lot of adrenaline pumping. Looking back, if I knew we would have hit high, we would have test shot again in that exact same condition. But we were like, dude, this bear is dead. There was a sow down there as well that like we talked about if she came back out, I was going to shoot that sow. So it wasn't until we got down there that we really analyzed the video and realized it was high. Like that's my one regret. I wish we would have reshot that. And it just didn't make sense to in the moment. Just to try and come to some conclusion. Because right now it's like, it's really, and the answer is get closer. We talked about this. If it was.
But that's not as much fun to talk about.
Yeah.
Because that's the end of the conversation.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what it's like, man, how do we think about this stuff in the future? How do we?
And I do think having time on your side really helps. If you're like at some point you're gonna be in a position where you decide to take a shot at the edge, wherever you decide the edge of your comfort zone is.
Yep.
At some point you're gonna be taking one there if you hunt enough, right? But when I'm on the edge, I don't like to be on the edge and in a hurry at the same time.
Yep.
If like.
Yeah.
Best case scenario, a bedded animal or an animal just like totally chilling, no real time pressure. You can spend minutes checking the wind, getting your position, like making sure you dot the I's, cross the T's.
For sure.
And just like, because when you're in a hurry, other things happen when you're in a hurry. People don't shoot as well. Nobody shoots as well when they're in a hurry.
100%.
Some people can shoot like with practice. I think you can get closer and closer to your potential when you're shooting fast.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it always, I think, takes something away.
For sure.
So.
Yeah, interesting. Have you had any experiences in the mountains where updraft, downdraft, surprised by wind?
I mean, I've had to account for updraft before. Specifically in that.
We might pause it for a second.
Delay.
40.
We're back. Delay a game.
40 wood chipper.
Yeah, tell us about all the times that you screwed up, because I'm sure there's just so many, Carl.
Make us feel better about ourselves.
Oh, I mean, I've had plenty of mistakes, for sure. No, the times I have held for updraft, I'm trying to think, was it both of those shots in different years in Wyoming on deer? For sure the one.
The big deer?
The big deer, there wasn't that much wind on the big deer. But shooting a decent, like a 160s buck
Nice.
in the same area a different year. There was, like maybe a 6 mile an hour wind, which is enough at 500 and some yards you got to account for it.
100%.
But there was light cloud cover, and it was running up the hill, and so it was a perfect wind flag.
Wow.
Both for, I mean, you still have to judge the speed, but you could tell, oh yeah, like it's perfectly following the hillside. And since I was on the same hillside, I needed to account for it. It was a very steep hill.
Oh, so you weren't shooting cross canyon, you were on the same hillside.
We were on the same hillside.
Gotcha.
Yep. So it's a very steep hill. I don't know if it's 40 degrees, but it might be close.
Nice.
It's very steep. And so I was holding basically as much elevation as I was windage.
No way. Wow. Nice.
I dialed for the
elevation
for the range, and then held in both. Basically, held in both planes.
Nice,
yeah.
Interesting.
So
that's very interesting.
It's not like a recommendation. It's just what I did.
Nice, yeah. And you hit it well, I'm assuming. And
yeah.
What's interesting
because came in second. It's always the goal.
Nice. So when you're shooting cross canyon, like that updraft, I don't know how deep an updraft is, if it's 5, 10, 15, 20 feet off of the surface, right? So
as far like the layer of wind that's running up the hill. Yeah, if it's really small and it's at the target, I mean, my intuition tells me that should have a minimal effect.
Yeah.
Because it's such a small distance, and the wind at the target has the least amount of time to affect the trajectory.
Exactly. So if you're shooting 500 yards cross canyon, the prevailing wind, whatever that is going to be significant, and you're going to have to account for that. But that last, whatever that is, even if it's 100 yards of the 500, it's going to account significantly less than those first 400 or whatever.
Yeah, it should count for about the same as a wind at 100 yards would.
For sure.
Like a consistent wind when you're only shooting 100 yards.
Yep.
If it only starts in the last 100 yards of the flight.
For sure. But then where you were there, it was traveling that updraft
it was that plane the whole way.
Gotcha. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's a unique situation too, man. It's a really hard to find 500 yards when you're on this. A lot of times when you get on the same hillside with them, there's trees or something that's going to block that path. Mm-hmm. That's a really unique location, I would assume.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting. Little big buck cliff.
Oh yeah.
Trying to think about times I screwed up. I want to talk about. Well,
I don't have too many with a rifle. I definitely have a few with the bow that I could talk about. But.
I mean, I've just pulled bad shots shooting fast at stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff that was moving that I probably shouldn't have been shooting at, and 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Much less practiced up. Not as good of a shot. Or very I haven't wounded hardly anything and had to get away. I've had some clean misses, and mostly I've had stuff that didn't get killed as cleanly as I would have liked.
Yeah.
But I still came out on top.
Yeah.
I think now that I think about it, might be one of, other than coyotes. Coyotes don't count.
No.
But big game animals might be one of the first, if not the first or second animal that I've ever hit with a rifle that I didn't recover.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a couple clean misses, but everything else has been
If
killed.
that bear wasn't so big, it would have been a nice clean miss. And
I
we wouldn't have
wish.
felt so bad. I know. That's why, you feel bad when you do touch them and you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, kill them. It sucks. No, it's definitely it's a funny common trajectory of match shooters. People is normally before we start match shooting, it's 300 yards far shot. Mm-hmm. Then you start shooting giant targets out at 1,000 yards, and now you're like, oh, dude, I can shoot animals at 1,000 yards, and then you start shooting at an animal, then you have some bad stuff go wrong. It's all of a sudden, then it gets dialed way back in.
Mm-hmm.
It's a common trajectory, and that's what it's like.
So you're telling everyone it's just a waste of money. Just don't ever shoot past 300 yards and don't get into the expensive guns.
In reality,
it's one way to go.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty doable to be competent to 600 yards.
Yeah,
for sure.
But it certainly takes more than ordering the right rifle.
Oh yeah,
with the right ballistic solver.
Man, that's that was at Best of the West and Gunworks and that. It's they've been making these and Leupold making crazy turrets and that, right? And and you hear about all the good experiences, and then it seems like they just the bad experience, because I know there's far more bad experience than there are good.
Mm-hmm.
and those just get like lost in the ether somewhere. Nobody talks
people
about
don't wanna
those
talk
things.
about 'em.
I know, and that's been my issue the whole time. Is like, man, we are doing our damnedest to make the best decisions possible with as much knowledge as like the three of us have, and we're still screwing up on occasion. Likely
stuff
less
still
you,
happens.
more here. Like at least this year we've had a rough go, and
I,
we're still screwing up.
I'm not. I fully expect something will go wrong one day.
Yeah.
If I keep doing it enough. Like there's no 100%.
Yeah,
And I'm not even. If I was trying to hold myself to 99%, I'd have to dial it back from 600.
100%.
Like just wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
But like I think 90 to 95% is like that's where I'm aiming to be. You know,
Yeah.
if I don't feel like that's the scenario, I don't want to engage.
For sure. Yeah, it's and like the whole caliber discussion and that, definitely guys with good fundamentals and like shooting the big calibers going way too like super fast, right? Like it's gonna buck wind better. It's gonna give us
Yes,
some
it
more
will.
forgiveness. There are definitely got like the long range only guys and the long range hunting forums guys. Those guys it's like, hey man, the wind is very challenging to call, and so they've like, let's just go bigger, faster, better, I guess, shorter barrel life, and because it's gonna cover up some of the mistakes that you're gonna make. Where and then like I missed
It
that
does.
bear.
Like to a degree, it does. There it has its own set of challenges.
100%.
But purely ballistically, like yeah, you shoot a 10-mile-an-hour gun instead of a 6-mile-an-hour gun.
Yep.
It really does give you more forgiveness.
Gives you more forgiveness. You still have to make a good one because that's so the bear that I missed. I missed it with a 223.
Yep.
Missed it by 8/10 from where I wanted to hit. It was 20 inches or something. The way that it was a small bear. Of course, some dude was giving me a hard time on the IG, saying I missed by like 3.5 feet. I was like, bro, I told you how much I missed by. It's 20 inches. Regardless, but if I would have been shooting my 300 Norma, I would have still hit it in the butt.
And probably killed it.
Well, because it's a 300 Norma, but I would have hit it in the butt. I would not have hit it where I intended, and it's possible that I hit it in the guts, and then I have a gut shot bear that doesn't die or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Right? You still have to make a good wind call with those.
Right. Which it's the forgiveness is not enough that you can just ignore the wind.
Yep.
You still have to call the wind and apply it decently. But when you get it wrong, you get more forgiveness.
A little bit more forgiveness.
You also like if you are one of the people who are trying to shoot real far, like real far, you're probably going to be making some corrections. And at real long range, those bullets are easier to see where they hit.
100%.
So that's a fact. If that's what you're doing, it's not. I don't do that. But
Yeah.
if that's what you're doing, then that is a consideration.
It is, but then there's a whole other factor of the recoil, and most people don't shoot those heavy recoiling rifles quite as well.
For sure.
And then spotting your own impact, like
They don't shoot them as much either. Like no, very, very few people want to do a whole lot of practice with punishing rifle.
for sure.
I don't.
Dude, I've got a 300 Norma. He's got 28 Nas. They're both pretty like big rounds and pretty hot. And I don't put a whole lot of rounds through them every year. It's like one, it's hard to because they heat up so darn fast. Like there's 91 grains or something in my Norma. It
Take
takes
2 shots, let it cool.
Yeah.
Take 2 shots.
and then it's not good for I know my subconscious, my shot process and all that getting pounded by that thing over and over. My determination and mental discipline only goes so far. At some point, you're going to start anticipating the shot when you're just getting pounded like that. And that's where the small calibers shine, where it's just like, man, you can pretty much shoot those indefinitely and not develop a shot anticipation.
Most of the stuff that I shoot, I could shoot hundreds of rounds in a day.
Yep.
And not worry about it beating me up. Not expect to get a flinch from exposing myself to that many shots. My 7 PRC, I'm not going to shoot hundreds of rounds in a day.
Yeah.
I'm just not.
They simply aren't that much fun to shoot, man. It's not like our smaller calibers are so fun to shoot, and you don't even consider the recoil. And as soon as you get up into those bigger ones, like the PRC for me is like, it's normal. Most guys are running around 56
Like a
grains of
6.5?
powder. Yeah, 6.5 PRC. Sorry, I should have clarified that. But that's like right on the edge for me and like with the bullet, like if you're running like a 156 and like 56 grains of powder somewhere around there, it's like pretty manageable depending on like if you have a muzzle device in that. But you start getting
there's
over
a lot of factors. Like you got a 7-pound, a 10-pound, or a 14-pound. Do you have a bare muzzle? Do you have a suppressor? Do you have a suppressor with a brake? Do you have a full-on match style muzzle brake?
Yeah.
Like, like just at some point, I think it's simpler to think in terms of foot-pounds of recoil.
That's a better way to do it for sure.
Because you can make stuff do a lot of different things.
Definitely. I would say the vast majority of hunting rifles out there that are 7-rim mag, 300 Win mag, however they're set up, are probably going to be very unfun to shoot.
Yeah, I think like,
especially if you have a muzzle brake on there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
it does, man. Like
I tend to like a well-built rifle, still a reasonable hunting weight, but not an ultralight, with a can like a 6.5 PRC is probably Like I can shoot that. I don't want to shoot 100 rounds in a day.
Yeah,
and it's also not great for it.
Yeah,
your barrel's not going to last that long if you do that.
Yeah.
But like I can go out and the recoil matters at that level, but it's pretty manageable.
Yep.
I'd rather be more like a 6.5 Creed from the recoil side or less, but like that's kind of where the gray area starts for me.
That's what I say PRC. For me. Yeah, with a can on it, like it is. It's and we shot NRL Hunter match last year, and he was shooting a can, I was shooting a brake. The concussion of the brake adds some with a 6.5 PRC. It adds some mental flinch, I would say. Like I don't know, but then like you get a little more longer recoil impulse with the suppressor, and so it's like there's like it is for me. It's like on the balance, and as soon as you go above that, if you're running a suppressor or the brake, because of that shock wave that's coming over the top of you, man, it just gets to be tough, and you're not going to most likely train as much as we do with our smaller calibers.
Did you see the video clip I posted of Carl shooting his?
I did, yeah.
Your muzzle brake and all the.
Oh, I don't think I saw that.
I wonder if I still have it on my phone.
It was a story.
I took a short. Or I had a video of you shooting on the 0 range at NRL Hunter, and when you shoot, like all the why am I blanking on
smoke?
Which match?
Smoke, yeah,
coming out of the end of the barrel.
Because it's like a muffler.
Yeah.
It's just like all the smoke came like back around your face.
Checked my rifle in, or was I there?
No, you were behind the gun.
Where was this?
Where was it?
That was at NRL.
Which one?
In Belt. Maybe it was the second day or something.
Oh, did you check 0?
You were shooting somewhere on the
I don't think I did.
No.
Yeah.
What gun were you shooting? Because isn't
it a red one?
Was it for sure a 0 range, or was I just shooting his stage?
He was shooting his black and orange Seekins.
Yeah, you're.
That's not me.
That's not him.
Oh yeah, you're right. I never even looked close.
I just saw that you tagged Carl Ross in there. I was like, oh yeah, I saw that. But now
dude, I don't know why I thought that was you, Carl.
I was confused why that happened.
That's hilarious.
Myself.
That's hilarious.
So that's got to be James Rowe or something.
That is James, actually.
Yeah, because the Nosler sticker.
I don't know why. That's so.
Because Jared's
funny.
the only person who shot my rifle at 0 range at that match.
Shot great for me, by the way.
That's hilarious, dude. I don't know. For some reason, from the first second I looked at that clip, it was just Carl.
Sorry, James. You're going to have to repost it and tag James in it.
That's embarrassing because it's.
All right. Well, we got a second correction to make. Apparently, I didn't intentionally mean to say this, but I implied possibly more than I intended that Carl was more responsible for the rock slide drop test. What I meant to be was that he had done a lot of the rock slide drop test and shared a lot of his testing. So on the first podcast with Carl, if you thought that I said that he did the protocol, he did not. He's just utilized it a lot.
I've used the work that they've done personally, but I have not been been involved in any of the stuff that they've published.
Not directly responsible for it, but you've utilized their protocol and you've shared a lot of information.
Yeah,
I would say.
Yep, I've gotten a lot of information from them for sure.
Yep. And I just wanted, because you did share some more information with me about how you previously did it, and I just think it's a fun story about so the current protocol is pretty soft ground.
Yep.
And two like shooting mats or whatever.
Two shooting, like a sleeping, like a close cell foam sleeping pad and a shooting mat, something like that. Okay. Like two mats like that.
Drop from knee height, waist height.
Basically it works out to knee height and waist height.
And how was your previous testing done?
Well, I used a single shooting mat over concrete, and
probably didn't absorb a whole lot.
This is like 12 years ago.
Yeah,
long time ago. But yeah, like the sharp parts on the gun would just cut through the shooting mat.
The shooting mat
doing
still has a
almost
bunch
anything.
of slices in it from.
Yes.
That's awesome. And did you ever find a setup that would pass that test?
Not 100%. No.
Really?
No.
It would make it through partially, or?
Well, I mean, some stuff might shift like, a couple tenths, and other stuff would shift like 10 inches or like off the target.
Wow. What was it, just from a gear standpoint, because we love that, when you were testing that very destructive testing versus the gentle testing of nowadays, what setup would you say was your most bomber that made it through that? Or did the best?
It was a pretty old school Night Force NXS.
Oh, nice.
3 to 15.
Nice, yeah.
Back with their second focal plane.
Yep.
It was 5 mil turrets.
Yeah.
Original mil dot reticle.
Basically what Glenn Demeray runs. He's got the velocity.
He has the velocity reticle, but basically
that scope though.
Basically that scope. Yep.
Yeah, those NXSs were having a pretty good reputation for toughness and all that. What do you recall what rings and what action they were?
Not for certain. Might have been Night Force ultralight rings.
Okay.
I've run a bunch of those in the past. I did not have anything with an integral rail, and getting the rails to stay on is pretty tough. I've pretty much all my rails. If I have a rail that is not integral, it gets glued on.
Yeah, like epoxy in it or JB Weld or
like JB
epoxy
JB Weld.
Gotcha.
Like no release agent, just like everything short of welding it because I don't have a welder.
Yeah,
call Jared. He could weld it on there for you.
Yeah, that's why you got different.
That's true.
Absolutely would weld one on.
That was so fun sharing that with Serge. Serge, what you know about the whole AI thing? Serge is active on Sniper Side, and he took part in some of the memes about me. Did not know it was about me, and we were driving back, and I told him it was me. And
you told him after the match.
Because he's a big AI guy too. Oh, that was awesome.
Is he ever going to shoot with you again?
I don't know, man. He had a pretty good run there. He's like, the only match he didn't win, I think, was the one he shot with me. So I might not get the invite again.
Yeah, it sounds like you were pretty well paired at that match, though.
I think we did pretty good. For considering that.
Like it wasn't like one of you let the team down.
No.
In particular, like it seemed pretty equitable.
Yeah, I think we did pretty close on scores on that. And like it bums me out a little bit because I was first shooter the whole time, and I felt like I should be setting my second shooter up to do better. Unfortunately, it's not a pair fired, obviously, style match, and so like on a pair fired, like I'm expecting my second shooter to do significantly better than me because I'm going to give them really good wind call, but the problem was like. It was multiple stages. I'd be holding 3/10 left, and then all of a sudden he's holding 8/10 right, and it's like from that's within 4 minutes or whatever it is of shooting. How much we experienced some interesting conditions, but it was really good. Back on the integral rail, not integral, non-integral rail.
Yeah.
Like I've used your example because you've used a lot of Bighorn or Zermatt actions, and you. Epoxy those things onto the action. Tell a lot of people anytime you get the chance. That's just a failure point or a connection point that I prefer to eliminate, and that's always try and get integral rails.
I would rather have it integral. I have the Bighorns. I've got a whole I have a pile of barrels. I have multiple bolt faces. I have a bunch of chassis bedded for them, and that's my. If there was one thing I could change about that action, it would be that was integral
for sure.
They get something out of it. in that I believe they surface grind the outside, so it's extremely precise, which you couldn't do. Like you couldn't rotate the whole thing and surface grind it
Yep.
if you had a rail. But for me, I'd just much rather have the rail.
For sure. The thing is, like, you made that decision to go Zermatt a long time ago, and
2017 maybe.
Yeah,
2016.
You
like
have
that.
so many combinations. This isn't a judgment on you; it's more on people thinking about buying a custom action now. It's like it is a nice to eliminate that connection point or potential failure point.
Right. Yes. Exactly.
Because so do the Bighorns have a lug that integrate with the rail? Or is it just screws?
They are pinned and screwed.
Pinned and screwed.
Mine are pinned, screwed, and glued.
And with the pinned and screwed, you've still experienced zero shift due to that connection point.
Pinned, screwed, and glued. If I hit it hard enough, I can break it loose.
Yep. So again, that's just all I'm trying to emphasize is that eliminating that failure point I feel is a good option when available if you're making a decision.
Yeah. Agreed.
On something, especially with the hunting rifle.
And these days, my Zermonts, actually, all mine are Bighorns, none are Zermonts.
Oh, nice.
They were all older.
Nice.
They're just match rifles. None of them are hunting rifles. So
Gotcha.
Not that I don't care about them shifting in matches, but one, it is lower stakes.
Yep.
And also, like, it might cost you a shot in a match, but hopefully at some point you'll figure out that you lost zero. Also, you don't have to abuse a match rifle.
Yeah, I'm
like,
pretty gentle
when you strap your rifle to your pack and go backpacking and like for days, like it's hard to completely baby the thing.
Yeah, it's gonna get bonked at some point.
Yeah,
as
it's pretty easy to baby a match rifle.
Yep, totally agree. Like I fall on my rifle at least once every year, and like last year was pretty good. I was deadfall and fell on a log on that side. It's strapped on this side, fell on that side. Checked zero. I checked it at 300 yards because that's what I had available, and it stayed perfect, which made me feel good. But I never fully trust that. Like anytime anything happens, I feel like it should get checked, but I have had good luck with the current setups.
Are you okay with grabbing your scope and picking your gun up by it, or do you avoid that?
I'm okay with it with all the stuff that I use. I do try to grab it by the ring.
Yeah.
I'm not okay. I used to, in matches occasionally, rest my hand on the objective bell. And then I did that on paper, and now I don't do that. Takes very little force to move it. It's consistent. It's repeatable.
Yeah.
And it's not like the way that I would do it. It would be 1 to 2 tenths, but like it was consistent.
Yeah, it's crazy. I used to be so. I'd grab my gun by the bell of the scope. I'd rest my hand, like palm would be on the bag, and then my fingers over the top of it. And then I shot a match with Casey Ming out at Three Forks, and he was running back when everybody was like into attaching their bag to the forend, and he had some little bag with shot cord, just light shot cord, and the shot cord was just it wasn't like pinch tight, but it was just enough to touch both the barrel and the scope. And it moved back and
you're getting both at once, dude, 2 for 1.
Yeah, and he could not hit the spinner at 300 yards. It was like the big side, and he never got it moving. It wasn't like he was missing the moving spinner. He never got it moving, and we're like, "What is going on?" And then we like messed with that, and then moved it away and tested it again. It was like, dude, it was just that shot cord, just barely touching the bell of the scope.
Yep.
And that's what from that point on, that's when I stopped touching it. I don't move it by the scope. I don't anything.
It's amazing that scopes work.
It's crazy. It's legitimately crazy that the fractions of an inch that tiny little reticle is moving back in that erector tube and equals a 1/4 inch down there. Like how does that do that every time? I don't understand it. It's impressive.
They do.
It's impressive.
A lot of them do, at least.
Yeah,
and there are ones that do it, which is great.
Until they don't.
I
always say every scope is always suspect in my mind. No matter how long it's done good for me, it's always suspect.
Yes.
So, and then as long as all that stuff is working perfectly, all we have to do is call the wind right, and then it all goes great.
All you have to
As
do
long
right
as you
is
entered all the
everything.
data in and actually shot your dope right and loaded your ammo in the right specs.
Oh, yeah.
There's just a couple moving parts, I think.
So many moving parts. How's your hunting season looking coming up? Got any fun hunts you're planning?
I'll probably go hunting.
Yeah. What are you going to use this year? What big Magnum caliber gun are you going to take this year?
22 Creed mag.
Oh yeah. Nice. Well, I forgot we did talk about that on the
Yeah.
first podcast. I'm excited to see how that goes. We've got something similar in the works, inspired by you. So it's going to be a
Nice.
fun one.
I like it.
Get close.
You're shooting everything at 100.
Just got the new unknown suppressors.
Oh, really?
Suppressor.
Nice.
Cool.
So now it's equivalent to a 22-inch barrel with the suppressor.
Really?
Yeah, because it's an. Are you familiar with that suppressor?
No.
Oh,
I've seen it, but I haven't dug in. I haven't looked at
I
it.
should
Part of
brought
it's
one.
like
Brought
over
it.
the barrel or something.
Yeah, it's an 8-inch suppressor, but it's 4 inches in front of the muzzle.
Oh,
4
cool.
inches behind.
Nice.
And yeah, so it only adds 4 inches total.
Very cool.
So now my 18-inch barreled rifle is only equivalent to a 22-inch barrel, but it's suppressed.
Very cool.
So-
Man, that's awesome. And then it's got a bunch of capacity in there, so it's probably pretty quiet. If it's
Yeah, it's not a giant amount of volume, and like it's not equivalent to the biggest cans on the market. Like
Yep.
I have a Thunder Beast Magnus. That's it's a 9-inch large diameter can.
Yep.
It's exceptionally quiet. It's not in that class. It's pretty similar in volume, probably like overall volume to my Ultra 7.
cool.
I don't think the capacity behind the muzzle counts quite the same as in front, but I was shooting it side by side on Wednesday with the Ultra 7 in a 6 Creed and a 243, so it should have been real similar. And like, it's real similar.
Is it cool? Mm-hmm. Recoil reduction, pretty good.
Similar, yeah.
Nice.
Like, probably the Ultra 7 is just a whisker quieter, but they're close enough that I care much more about the form factor than any sound. Like,
Cool.
Going back and forth, I was like every time I was like, maybe this, maybe that, which pretty much tells you they're real close.
Yeah, that's awesome. How careful do you have to be with barrel profile with that suppressor?
That particular model, the OG, is for barrels that are 0.75 at the muzzle and less. So it would not fit a carbon barrel.
Gotcha.
It's going to only fit a steel hunting weight barrel.
Gotcha.
They're coming out with one. Actually, I think it's supposed to drop today. That'll take a 1-inch barrel, so it'll take
cool.
all the rest of them basically.
Sweet. That's awesome. And it ends up going 4 inches back down the barrel.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Yep.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of. Yeah. Reminds me. I'm sure Glenn Demery would like that. There's
We got to have Glenn on the podcast at some point.
we'll get him on. We're gonna have to keep him. We're gonna have to give him a path to go down there. Can't go over there. You can't go over there.
Isn't that interesting to let him wander?
I don't know, dude. We might get out in the weeds somewhere.
That might be a different kind of show.
Yeah, dude. Are you just sticking with the gun content would be great. Like that's why I brought him up with the. Are you familiar with this soft break?
No.
I had one. Did you ever have one?
I never had one.
I had. He talked me into it, dude. Like, so he had Benchmark do this crazy contour barrel where they just cut the whole middle of it out, basically, and then he sleeves back over it with a piece of aluminum tube, and then it gets kind of post tensioned, and there was like ports in the barrel that went into that tube, and then the ports came back out this way. So his theory was the sound had to go down the barrel through those ports back out this way, and it was quieter than a normal break. He was confident that it reduced recoil the same. It didn't, but it was interesting. It was interesting. Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. It was like this there's guys doing it now that actually have like these integrated suppressor barrel things. The guys from Arc and Optics have a company that are doing it. But yeah, it was an interesting, like, yeah, very much mad scientist, crazy outside the box thinking that Glenn did.
That basically describes
Yeah,
Glenn.
it was crazy. I had a 647 barrel for about 200 or 300 rounds, and I was like, Glenn, this thing, and we traded. I gave it back to him, and then he gave me his benchmark. He had a straight like a whatever heavy varmint benchmark or something.
Okay.
I tried it for a little bit. It was like wasn't for me. Wasn't great.
So Carl got out of answering your question, though.
Oh yeah,
He's flying under the radar right now.
I have no.
He's like, I'm going to go kill a bunch of stuff and tell nobody.
I have no big out of state hunts, so just Montana
Nice.
hunts. Yeah, I've still been. I considered applying for something in Wyoming, but yeah, just a lot going on in life.
You got points back coming back though after that deer. It must be 3 years now or something.
Yep, and I build elk, antelope, and deer points in Wyoming,
Nice.
so I could have hunted. I'm pretty sure I could have drawn a bull tag this year
Oh, nice.
if I wanted to, but I wasn't confident I would have the time.
Nice. Yeah.
You know.
You got it. And have you hunted antelope over there?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have points there?
Mm-hmm.
We should go do an antelope hunt. We should
Sure.
go do a big antelope hunt.
Antelope hunts are fantastic.
It'd be so fun.
Yeah.
Like I've got a bunch of points too. We should, like, I don't even think we need to draw a good unit. I think we just need to go get tags and go hunt over there.
Yeah,
It'd be super fun.
It's an excellent place to hunt antelope.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. I haven't shot one with a gun for 7 years or something like that because I didn't draw for a couple of years and I started getting the 900 tag. So I really want to go shoot one with a gun. It's been a while.
Yeah, you don't have to get quite as close.
Yeah.
No, not even near as close.
Oh my gosh, dude. That's what, like, I'm pretty confident, like, any antelope I see now, I can get to 100 yards. Like, I'm pretty darn confident in it. Whether or not you can, like, draw or, like, even at 100 yards, like, you normally can't even, like, everything's got to be just right for you to be able to draw and whatever. But with a gun, like, you can just sneak. I just hunted with a bunch of guys before where, like, 600 yards was a feat for them to get to 600 of an antelope. It's like, you aren't even trying. You are so lazy. You can't just walk at them. But now, after having archery hunted them for 5 years, like, I would really looking forward to going back to a gun where it's like, oh, dude, that bush.
It's just window shopping.
Yeah.
You know the trouble with archery hunting for me?
What's that?
The entire time I think about how I wish it was a rifle.
That's what, dude.
Like, that's all I do.
Yeah.
It's like, this is such a terrible weapon.
Oh my god! By the end of archery, by the end of September, I don't even want to archery hunt anymore. Going into October, I'm like, even if I haven't filled my tags, I'm like, I'm ready for guns, and then we go to Idaho. It was like Idaho opens early, so we get to start rifle hunting sooner.
Wyoming does too.
Does it? Oh yeah, Jesus.
Yeah, I shot that big buck on September 15th.
That's crazy. That's so sick. That's
and,
right. You got
and
to
that
hunt
same
that too.
that same general area, rifle elk opens like September, like 26th,
Wow.
maybe.
Nice.
Because I shot my Wyoming bull like September, the first opening day.
Nice.
I mean, that hunt was like 8 minutes.
No way. That's
So
Oh, yeah.
So like Carl's the opposite of us. He's like, I'm in, I'm out.
yeah.
We're like, no, we'll wait till day 8 and then maybe we'll shoot something.
I've never had an 8-day hunt.
Oh man, I've told this story about you before, where like you intentionally held out on that big deer, where you intentionally held out and passed.
Like
15 or something. Yeah,
it might have been the 16th buck I saw that morning.
Yeah,
which was opening morning.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
I held out until like 9-something a.m. on opening day. I like when I'm hunting opening day, like by 10 a.m. if I haven't seen something I want to shoot, I'm starting to worry that the season's ruined. I've had unreasonable luck.
Oh, that's
at the
awesome.
beginning of hunting season.
Nice.
I went like a decade where my tag never made it past the second day.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow. I think the only opening day animal I ever shot was one in Idaho. That bull that we found over there. I think that's the only time I've ever shot something opening day. Yeah, I don't know. I was like, I think it's a subconscious thing I do to myself to extend the hunt out a little bit further.
Yeah.
It feels like.
Yeah, no, that I appreciate that. My mind apparently doesn't work that way.
So are you, do you have preference on where you're going to, hunt your elk and deer? Are you a prairie or a mountain guy? Or are you both?
I mean,
You're non-discriminatory?
I like the mountains. Yeah. I like mountainous terrain,
Nice.
backpack hunting.
Sweet.
Yeah,
So
Northwest
how
Wyoming.
how come we haven't hunted yet? How come we don't got any plans? I feel like we need to go hunt with Carl at some point. I feel let us. That's probably the big one.
I mean, I would let you. I think you don't realize how few days I set aside to go hunting.
Trying to pin Carl down on his work schedule. He's a workaholic like I've never experienced. He'll take on more work. Like,
I don't even try to. I just say yes, and then I was like, oh no, I said yes. What am I going to do? I guess I have to do it.
yeah.
That just doesn't seem to line up very good with backpack hunting, though.
It doesn't. Matches are easy, both with work and with family. Matches are easier to fit in than backpack hunting, which is why most of my backpack hunting was before I was self-employed and before I had a family.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I've been forcing some in, and I really enjoy it still. But,
Definitely.
Nice.
yeah.
That's awesome. Can we? I don't know how much you're willing to talk about. It's your hunter's course that you've got set up. Are you willing to chat about that?
Yeah, I'll definitely talk about the overall idea. We're working on some details. We may have an event in August.
Oh, cool.
But I'm not committing to any of that right now.
Okay.
But hopefully I could get you some details once we have them worked out.
Nice.
So, been teaching at Tactic, and a lot of the people I teach are there for hunters prep, trying to get prepared for hunting season. And for that, for myself, I built a hunter's course there, and the design of the course is that all the targets are 12-inch rounds to represent vitals, because it doesn't matter whether it's 200 yards or 800 yards.
Yep.
Like, that is the size of a vitals. They should not scale with distance.
Yep.
Like, that's appropriate for match shooting. It's not appropriate for practicing for hunting, in my opinion. Each engagement is handled separately. So I show you a target. It's not blind. It's not like an NRL hunter. But you know where the target is, and you put all your stuff on just the way you would carry it while you were hunting. So backpack on, rifle. Usually we do rifle in hand because I don't want people flipping around and accidentally flagging somebody. So rifle in hand, binos in your bino harness, start a shot timer, and however long it is actually timed. It's not a part time. You're trying to get your hits as fast as you can. You have up to 4 shots to hit it twice.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Nice.
So you're trying to, because I don't want people to just take a shot and sit back and look at it. I want them to get used to making a follow up.
Nice.
So you shoot it until you hit it twice or 4 rounds.
Cool.
Because we also don't want to just burn our hunting barrels to the ground.
Yeah.
And your score is your time plus their penalty. If you miss or if you don't get your 2 hits, there's additional time penalties.
Nice.
And so the score for that would be basically it's time plus scoring, which is what IDPA, the pistol competition, does.
Nice.
So yeah.
And then is your time like at each station or whatever it is it continuous throughout the whole course, or is it when you get to each station you just have a time block there that gets counted?
So your time is just it's a shot timer, right?
Okay.
So it's so at the shot timer you can begin ranging, you can begin setting up. Your last shot stops the timer.
Okay, cool.
And so you if it took you 38 seconds to get your 2 hits, 38 seconds.
Cool.
If it took you 2.5 minutes,
cool.
2.5 minutes.
And then how many targets or whatever stages do you have?
So I have 20 targets total, but probably for an event, just from a time perspective, we'd only run each person through 10 targets.
Okay, cool.
Because it takes longer for people to get through than I initially thought.
Gotcha.
Because my initial take on it was all based on me shooting it all by myself, and I can shoot it a lot faster than we can run a group of people through it.
For sure.
So, yeah.
And what do you have caliber restrictions on it?
No, I mean, like, if you tried to shoot like a BMG or something, I'd probably not want you to bust up the targets. But
Yeah.
No, not really.
Nice. Or the Normas or whatever you'd be pretty good with, or?
Yeah, I think that would be fine.
Yeah, nice.
Until if we had issues with that, okay.
Yeah.
There's only a couple targets that are close enough that they'd really probably be in danger anyways.
Cool.
And it would be gameable, so I'm not intending it to be a hardcore competition with a winner. I'm intending it to be hunting practice.
Nice.
So, shoot against yourself, bring the stuff you'd actually use for hunting.
Yeah.
If you hunt with a Win Mag, bring a Win Mag. If you hunt with a 223, bring a 223.
Yeah, for sure.
However you actually do it. The idea is to practice the entire shot process, which NRL Hunter does, but there's some other stuff in there. So it's really laser focused to practicing the shot process and doing it as quickly and efficiently as possible.
Nice.
And getting reps in there. And at the same time, hopefully you start to get an idea of what your hit odds are at different ranges.
Yeah. Nice. That's awesome.
So,
and is this not to force you into talking more about the event, but is this something that the general public could potentially come shoot? Or
That would be the idea.
okay,
Yeah.
cool,
Is that it would be open.
nice, sweet, kind of like a total archery challenge kind of event.
Yes.
like it's like,
Same. I have not been to a total archery challenge, but my understanding is they're a similar concept. Yeah.
cool. No,
And
that's
if they get a bad enough score, they have to donate all their equipment to you, which gets sold and gets donated somewhere else.
No, I won't even make fun of you if you do bad, unless you really give me a good reason.
He'll make fun of us when we do bad.
Oh, for sure.
Yes.
I thought you guys were better at this.
Do it again, but this time with more talent.
Do it again, but this time don't suck.
Oh, nice. Well, cool. You got any more questions for Carl? Nothing. We got.
I mean, we could talk about nerdy gun stuff for too long, but no, nothing that's pressing.
Nice.
I'm trying to get into the bow mode.
Nice.
Still haven't built my bow, but maybe next week.
Get that
I
done.
have one in my storage unit if you need.
I don't really need any. I just need to.
Multiple.
There's 2 arrows left in the quiver.
So at least
I think they have
could be a lot
broadheads
of
on them.
animals too. So no, I'm squared away.
Sweet. Well, I think we should have you on regularly. We had very good feedback on the first one for sure,
good.
dude.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's great. Guys are hungry for the information. Like my big thing, you've tested more than anybody that I know, and if we can keep, like, I encourage you on Instagram and all that stuff, just share that stuff because you've got so much valuable information in your head and from the testing, and
Yeah.
we've heard a lot from the guys that have listened
good.
to your podcast, how much they enjoyed it. So,
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you for coming on again.
For sure.
It's great.
It's fun.
Yep. Thanks, Carl.